First and foremost, we're going to start off by giving all praises and all glory and all honor to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, through his only begotten Son, Jesus the Christ.
Right.
Secondly, we're going to give double honors to our elders. They rule well. They're counted worthy of double honors. They get their double honors. Thirdly, I want to say to all of my brothers, all of my sisters out there, Shabbat Shalom, greetings, happy Sabbath. My name is Priest Lithiel Ben Israel.
And likewise, my name is Priest Ron Ben Israel.
And we, as you know, we are with the Holy Nation of Israel, the Straight Gate of Israel. And we're back again with another topic, another lesson. But before we proceed any further, I want everybody out there, get your Bibles with the Apocrypha included. Read along with us if you can. Also, get your notebooks, get your pens, get your paper, get your pencils, and take notes if it is in your spirit. Lord's willing, this will be an edifying lesson that I am going to entitle a psalm or song for the Sabbath day. Now, before we begin, I want to open up in the first folder. Let me get my first folder real quick. Yeah, we'll start right there. Right there. Let me know when we're straight. Good. All praises. Read that.
Sabbath, rest day.
So the word Sabbath, as you see in parentheses, it means rest. And it says rest day. Read.
Seventh of the week.
Or the seventh day of the week. Yo, the Sabbath is the seventh day of the week. Read. Matter of fact, let me read, because I know I want to read that. It says, became a Mosaic institution for rest and festival occasions, right? Then it says, where am I? It says, days from consulting. Oh, the Sabbath was a day for consulting prophets, a day of teaching and joy, a whole week of time implied. Among Christians, the day after the Hebrew Sabbath, or seventh day. The Hebrew Sabbath, in case you did not know, is the seventh day of the week. Now, when it's talking about the Christians and their Sabbath, we know they ain't got no goddamn Sabbath. They ain't got no damn Sabbath. But it says, among Christians, the day after the Hebrew Sabbath, or seventh day, gradually, until fully established, became the Sabbath, or first day, in commemoration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, right? So, so-called Christians, alleged Christians, they claim their Sabbath is on the first day of the week, which we know would be Sunday. But the Hebrew Sabbath, the Sabbath that the Israelites, they kept, was on the seventh day of the week. Here in the United States of America, we know the seventh day of the week to be Saturday. Go over real quick. Read this for me. Just read the highlights.
Sabbath, a day of rest, to rest, usually to the seventh day of the week.
So when you read about the Sabbath, it usually applies to the seventh day of the week, yo. Real talk. Keep going.
The first scriptural notice of it, though it is not mentioned by name, is to be found in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 3. At the close of the record of the 6 days creation.
Hey, read the other part right there where it says, we see where it says highlighted to rest. Read the name is applied. Go up, all the way up to the top. See where it says to rest, man? No, right over in the highlights. It's in the highlights. It's orange highlight. Go up. Go up. Right there. Go up one more. Right there. Read that.
To rest.
Read the name.
The name is applied to diverse great festivals, but principally...
When it says it's applied to diverse great festivals, it's talking about those great festivals or holy days or holidays that you read about in Leviticus chapter 23. Those days are also known as Sabbath days, like the first and the last day of unleavened bread, or the first and the last day of tabernacles, or the first day of the seventh month, which is the memorial blowing of trumpets. For example, these days are also Sabbath days. But watch this, it says, but primarily, but principally, my fault.
But principally and usually to the seventh day of the week.
But principally and usually the seventh day of the week. Now, I'll read this next highlight again. The first scriptural notice of it, though it is not mentioned by the name, is found in Genesis 2 and 3 at the close of the record of the 6 days of creation. Give me that real quick. Genesis chapter 2. Start at verse 1. Let's start there.
The book of Genesis chapter 2 verse 1.
Read.
Thus the heavens and the earth were finished,
Uh-huh.
and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work.
And on what day?
And on the seventh day, God ended his work,
And on the seventh day, God ended his work, read,
which he had made.
which he had made. He ended his work on what day? The seventh day. Did it say the sixth day evening?
No, it says
Oh,
seven.
okay. He ended his work on the seventh day, read.
And he rested on the seventh
And
day
he rested on the seventh day, read.
from all his work which he had made.
From all his work which he had made, read.
And God blessed the seventh day
And God blessed the seventh day, read.
and sanctified it,
And sanctified it, meaning he made that day, the seventh day, hallowed or holy. He made it a holy day, read.
because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made.
Which God created and made. So when did God rest? He rested on the seventh day, yo. The seventh day of the week, that is the Sabbath. Give me that real quick. We'll get a couple precepts just to show you. Give me Exodus chapter 16 and verse 26 first.
Look at Exodus chapter 16, verse 26.
Read.
6 days ye shall gather it,
Read.
but on the seventh day,
Here we go. But on the seventh day, read.
which is the Sabbath.
Which is the Sabbath. The seventh day of the week is the Sabbath. Read.
In it there shall be none.
Jump down to verse 30.
Verse 30. So the people rested on the seventh day.
So the people rested on the seventh day. Why? Because the seventh day is a day of rest. It is the Sabbath, man. And that's what you read all throughout the Bible when you're reading about the Sabbath. You're reading about the seventh day. Like in the Ten Commandments. Give me Exodus chapter 20 and verse 10 real quick.
But Exodus chapter 20 and verse 10. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. The Sabbath of the Lord thy God is on the seventh day, man. And you know why he had to tell you this? Because he knew you would forget. He knew you would forget. That's why in all of the Ten Commandments, remember the Sabbath day. Matter of fact, read it. Verse 8. Verse 8, read it.
The book of Exodus chapter 20 verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Out of all of the commandments, out of all 10 commandments that you find in the Big Ten, this is the only one that says, remember. Remember the Sabbath day. Why are you commanded to remember the Sabbath day? Because you forgot the Sabbath day, yo. You forgot it. You forgot how to keep it holy, yo. You forgot when it was, when it started, when it ended. But hey, give me that real quick in Lamentation chapter 2 just to prove that we forgot the Sabbath day. Lamentation chapter 2, I want 5 and 6.
Look at Lamentation chapter 2 and verse 5.
Read.
The Lord was an enemy. He hath swallowed up Israel.
Uh-huh.
He hath swallowed up all her palaces.
Read.
He hath destroyed his strongholds, and hath increased in the daughter of Judah mourning and lamentation.
Read.
And he hath violently taken away his tabernacle,
Uh-huh.
as if it were of a garden.
Read.
He hath destroyed his palace of the assembly. The Lord hath caused the solemn feast and Sabbaths
The Lord has caused the solemn feast and the Sabbaths, read.
to be forgotten.
To be what?
To be forgotten in Zion.
To be forgotten in Zion. We have forgotten God's Sabbath days. We have forgotten God's solemn feast. We've forgotten how to keep these days holy. We've forgotten when these days are, when these days begin, when these days end. We have forgotten these things. Was that in verse 6?
No.
Finish it up.
And have despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priest.
Hey, go back to Exodus chapter 20, read verse 10 again. I want to finish that.
Look at Exodus chapter 20 and verse 10.
Read.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
If you want to know when the Sabbath is, read it again.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
It's the seventh day of the week. That's when the Sabbath is. Keep reading.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
In it, the seventh day, thou shalt not do any work, yo. This is how you keep the Sabbath holy. Read.
Thou.
When he says thou, that's talking about you as an individual. And for you brothers and sisters that are married, when it's saying thou, it's talking about you and your spouse. Remember what the Lord said. They twain shall become what? One flesh. Read.
Nor thy son.
Nor your son,
Nor thy daughter.
nor your daughter. Read.
Thy manservant.
Uh-huh.
Nor thy maidservant.
Keep going.
Nor thy cattle. Nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Read.
For in 6 days
For in 6 days, what?
the Lord made heaven and earth.
The Lord made the heavens and the earth in 6 days, show. 6 days. And you can read about that in Genesis chapter 1. Keep going.
the sea, and all that in them is,
Keep going.
and rested the seventh
And
day.
he rested when?
And rested the seventh day.
And did what?
Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath
He
day
blessed the Sabbath day
and hallowed it.
and sanctified it. We just read about that in Genesis chapter 2, yo.
So now,
Real talk.
So that 6th day of evening.
Nah, definitely not the 6th day of evening.
All right.
Definitely not the 6th day of evening. All throughout the Bible. Give me one more. Give me get the Apocrypha. 2 Maccabees 15:4. Give me that one. Let me get 2 Maccabees 15:4. We ain't gonna kick a dead horse. Because we could sit here and kick a dead horse. Make a whole class about the 7th day and just read scriptures where it says the 7th day, the 7th day, the 7th day.
Oh yeah.
That's what could happen.
That's something I would do.
But we're not gonna do that right now. You got that for me?
2 Maccabees 15:4.
Yeah.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 15, verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And when they said, there is in heaven a living Lord,
There is in heaven a living Lord, read.
and mighty,
A mighty Lord, read.
who commanded the 7th day,
Who commanded what?
the 7th day,
Read.
to be kept.
Who commanded the 7th day to be kept? How many times do we have to keep reading that? He commanded the 7th day to be kept. Kept holy. Because the 7th day is the Sabbath. Now I want to go back to this real quick. I want to go back to this. Go. Yeah, we're going to read this. We're going to read this right here. Let me know when we straight. Read that.
Sabbath. You want to read now?
Nah, I'll just read one.
Sabbath, a day of religious observance and abstinence from work.
Abstinence.
Abstinence from work.
So that's what the Sabbath is. It's a day of religious observance and abstinence from work. A day where you do not work. You forsake working on that day, right? Keep reading.
Kept by Jewish people.
Kept by what people?
By Jewish people.
Kept by Jewish people when?
From Friday evening to Saturday evening.
Kept by Jewish people from Friday evening to Saturday evening. That's interesting. Jewish people keep their Sabbath from Friday evening to Saturday evening. Finish it.
And by most Christians on Sunday.
And when it's talking about Jewish people, go over. Let me show you who it's talking about. This is who it's talking about when it's talking about Jewish people. When it says they keep their Sabbath from Friday evening to Saturday evening. This is who it's talking about. These people with these yarmulkes and phylacteries on their head. These red people with their yarmulkes and their phylacteries on their head. This is what they mean by Jewish people. Go over. Right here. Look at this. This is Jewish people. And you know, they're wearing all that black right there to fit Jeremiah 14:2. Judah is black unto the ground. That's why they wear all that black right there. This is what they're talking about when they say Jewish people keep their Sabbath from Friday evening to Saturday evening. Over. More of them. Oh, there go another one. Okay, that's it. So, the world, go back. Keep that, put that on the screen. Yeah. Go back. No, go back. Put that one keep that one on the screen. The world calls these people Jewish. Give me what Christ calls these people. Revelation 2:9. You can leave it on the screen for a minute.
Book of Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9.
Uh-huh.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
Read.
But thou art rich.
Christ is talking about the real Jews. He's talking about the real Jews. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians. Christ said he knows our works, our tribulation, our poverty, but we're rich. When he's saying we're rich, he's saying we're rich towards God. Because all of God's promises of mercy and grace and life everlasting and rulership in the world belongs to us. That's what makes us rich. Keep going.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
He said, I know the blasphemy, the lie of them that say they are Jews, and what?
And are not.
And are not the Jews, but
are the synagogue of Satan.
That's what Christ calls these people. Christ calls these people the synagogue of Satan. That's what he calls them. Give me chapter 3 and 9.
The book of Revelation chapter 3 verse 9. Behold.
Hey, put the devil back on the screen. Forget it. Put the devil back on the screen. Read it again.
The book of Revelation chapter 3 verse 9.
Uh-huh.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
Read.
Which say they are Jews.
Which say they are Jews, but.
And are not.
And are not the Jews, but.
But do lie.
But do lie. Christ said the synagogue of Satan, they are liars.
Right.
They are not the Jews. They're lying. Read.
Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet.
And what?
And to know that I have loved thee.
The Lord said he's going to come. He's going to make these people worship before our feet. He's going to make these people know that he loves Us. And just before we move any forward, I don't want to hear anybody say anything about no damn anti-Semitism. This is not anti-Semitism. It can't be anti-Semitism because the man that spoke that in Revelation 2:9 and 3:9 is a goddamn Jew.
That's right.
So he can't be no anti-Semitism. And then on top of that, the people in this room that are echoing what this Jew said are the Jews. It can't be anti-Semitic. So we don't want to hear none of that. Give me the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 16 real quick. What else does the Bible call these people? The synagogue of Satan. Read this real fast.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 16.
Read.
We are esteemed of him as
counterfeits.
As counterfeits.
Read it again.
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits.
That's what the Bible calls these people. The Bible calls these people counterfeits, man. They are counterfeits. Counterfeit what? Counterfeit Jews.
They're posers.
Yeah, they're frauds, yo. They're faker than a $3 bill. Real talk. Read it again.
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits.
Uh-huh.
He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness.
And we abstain from their ways as from filthiness. And that filthiness is like a pile of shit. That's what their ways are, man. We abstain from their ways like filthiness. Like we showed you the picture, for example, with these counterfeits wearing phylacteries and yarmulkes. Guess what you ain't gonna see us wearing? Phylacteries and yarmulkes. They wear, what is it, zit-zits?
Zit-zits.
They wear zit-zits. Guess what you ain't gonna see us wearing? No damn zit-zits. They keep their Sabbath from Friday evening to Saturday evening. Man, we're gonna abstain from that because it's filthiness, man. We ain't gonna do what they do. Let me let you in on a secret. Let me let you in on a secret. Whatever the synagogue of Satan does, you do the opposite, man. You're not supposed to do the same thing that the goddamn devil does, man. Real talk. You see the synagogue of Satan with a 6-pointed symbol on their flag, and they said that represents us. You shouldn't be wearing that goddamn symbol, man. What's wrong with people these days? Read it again.
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits.
That's what they are. That's what they be. They're counterfeits. Read.
He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness.
Uh-huh.
He pronounceth the end of the just.
We pronounce the end of the just to be what?
To be blessed.
To be blessed. We're going to tell you that the just, they will be blessed. Is that the end of the verse?
No.
Finish it out.
And maketh his boast that God is his father.
And we tell you, we're the Israelites. We are the sons of God. The sons and daughters of the living God, yo. So yeah, we make that boast. Give me the book of Daniel chapter 11 and verse 14. Daniel chapter 11 and verse 14. We touch this quite often. We're going to read it again.
The book of Daniel chapter 11 and verse 14. And in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south.
Egypt, read.
Also the robbers of thy people.
Here we go. Also the robbers of thy people. Who is this talking about? Esau, Edom. It's talking about the so-called white man. Including the counterfeits. Including the synagogue of Satan. Including those Edomites that lie and say that they're Jews. They are the robbers of the people of God. Read that part again. Also the robbers.
Also the robbers of thy people.
Read.
Shall exalt themselves to establish the vision.
To establish what vision? To establish the vision that they are the Jews, yo. That they are the people of God. And guess what? They prosper doing that. Give me that, matter of fact, in Job chapter 12. I think it might be Job 12. We'll come right back to this. Job 12 and 6, I think it is. Let me get that. Yep, that's it. Job 12 and 6.
Book of Job chapter 12 verse 6. The tabernacles of robbers prosper.
Read it again.
The tabernacles of robbers prosper.
The tabernacles of the robbers, they prosper today, yo. They prosper in establishing that vision. That vision that they are the people of God. That vision that they are the Jews. Read.
And they that provoke God are secure.
And those that provoke God, they dwell secure. Like here in America. They provoke God, but they dwell secure, right? Read.
And to whose hand God bringeth abundantly.
And it seems like God bringeth to them abundantly. They increase in wealth. They increase in riches. That's what happens with these people, right? Go back to Daniel chapter 11 and verse 14.
Book of Daniel chapter 11 verse 14. And in those times there shall many stand up against the king of the south.
Egypt.
Also the robbers of thy people shall exalt themselves to establish the vision.
To establish the vision that they are the Jews, read.
But they shall fall.
But they shall fall. So he said the robbers of the people, they're going to exalt themselves to establish the vision. What vision? The vision that they are the people of God. The vision that they are the Jews, yo. See, in order for them to establish that vision, they would have to first do what? I'll give you two things. They would have to first steal our identity, which they did. Today they call themselves Jews. But they would also have to steal our land, yo. They would have to steal our land. Let me show you in the Bible Edom stealing our land real quick. Give me 2nd Esdras 4. No, excuse me. 1st Esdras chapter 4 and verse 50. Let me get that real quick.
The book of 1st Ezra chapter 4 and verse 50. And that all the country which they hold shall be free without tribute. And that the Edomites...
And who?
And that the Edomites
Read.
shall give over the villages...
Shall give over the villages, the cities, the towns, the suburbs. Read.
Of the Jews.
Of the Jews. Read.
Which then they held.
Which they held in their possession. Which they stole from us and held in their possession then. Edom always stole or always coveted after our land. And when they had the chance to take our land, they always acted on that chance, yo. Real talk. Matter of fact, there's nothing new under the sun. Give me that in Ecclesiastes 1. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9 real quick. You ever heard of the saying, history repeats itself? Read this real fast.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is...
The thing that have been is that which shall be. Whatever was done in the time past will be done again in the future. Read.
And that which is done.
And that which is done, read.
Is that which shall be done.
Is that which shall be done, read.
And there is no new thing under the sun.
And there is no new thing under the sun. History repeats itself, yo. As it was then with Edom, holding our villages, the villages of the Jews, the land, the cities, the towns, the suburbs, so it is again today, yo. So it is again today. History repeats itself. Give me the book of Judges chapter 3 and verse 13 about what group of Edom it is that always coveted that land and always stole that land. Read that for me.
The book of Judges chapter 3 and verse 13. Read. And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon.
This is talking about a king of Moab named Eglon. This was the fat boy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is talking about the fat king of Moab named Eglon. Read it again.
And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon. And Amalek.
And Amalek, read.
And went and smote Israel.
And went and smote Israel.
And possessed the city of palm trees.
And possessed the city of palm trees. Talking about Israel. Now, Amalek. Who is Amalek? Amalek is Esau. He is Edom. Give me Genesis 36 and 1. When you read the book of Genesis chapter 36, you're reading about the genealogy of Esau. You also read about the genealogy of the Horims and Seir, and you read about the kings, the first kings of Esau here in Genesis chapter 36. But give me chapter 36 and 1.
The book of Genesis chapter 36 and verse 1.
Read.
Now these are the generations of Esau.
Read.
Who is Edom.
These are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Who is Edom. Jump down to verse 12 for me.
Verse 12. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son.
Read.
And she bare to Eliphaz Amalek.
And she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. Read.
These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife.
Esau's wife. So Amalek is Esau, which is Edom, yo. Amalek is just one of the tribes of Esau. One of the tribes of Edom, yo. And that is the group of Edom that always coveted after the land. That is the group of Edom that always took our land into their possession. Give me the book of Ezekiel 36 and 5.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 5. Therefore thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen.
Read.
And against all Idumea.
And against all Idumea. Read.
Which have appointed by land into their possession, with the joy of all their heart, with the spiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey.
So the Lord told you, Idumea appointed all of his land into their own possession, yo. Idumea stole the land of God. Hey, next folder, go out of here. Who is Idumea? Who is Idumea? Let's see here. Here we go. I don't know if that's going to come across clear or not on jump, because it don't look clear from over here.
Hell no.
But can you read it?
Yeah.
Hey, read it anyway. We good? It is? All right, go ahead.
Idumea, red.
Oh, so the word Idumea means red. Just read down the line.
Greek name of Edom.
Greek name of Edom. So Idumea
Means
is
red.
another name for Edom. Another name for Edom in general. Go over. Oh, now, watch this. We're going to show you about the Idumeans. This right here is from the book of Josephus. I think this is book 13. I think this is book 13. Watch this. Read this.
Hyrcanus.
This is John Hyrcanus I, the son of Simon Maccabeus. Read it again.
Hyrcanus took also Dora and Marissa, cities of Idumea,
So Dora and Marissa were cities in Idumea. Read.
and subdued all the Idumeans.
And he subdued all the Idumeans. Not some Idumeans. Not most Idumeans. He subdued all Idumeans. Read.
and permitted them to stay in that country.
In that country, Idumea. Read.
If they would circumcise their genitals.
But they first had to get circumcised. Read.
and make use of the laws of the Jews.
And convert to Judaism. The laws of the Jews. Keep reading. And they were so desirous.
And they were so desirous of living in the country of their forefathers that they submitted to the use of circumcision and the rest of the Jewish ways of living.
So they submitted to the use of circumcision and to the laws of the Jews. Read.
At which time, therefore, this befell them, that they were hereafter no other than Jews.
They were hereafter no other than Jews. Who is he talking about? Idumea. The Idumeans. See, the word Idumea is, in general, used for Edom. But specifically, it's used for that group that converted and became Jews. Who am I talking about? Amalek. Amalek. Idumea specifically identifies Amalek. Man, real talk, go over. This is John Hyrcanus I from Britannica. Go over. Let me see here. I want to read that. Nope. Go over. Go over. Hold on. Go over. 1 second. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I want to read this. Where it says, you see where it says, go all the way down to the third sentence. Go, third sentence. At third sentence from the bottom. From the bottom. Go all the way down to the bottom. And then count up to 3. 1, 2, 3, right there. Read by alliance with Rome.
By alliance with Rome, and conquered the unfriendly neighboring territories of Samaria, and Idumea, Edom.
So John Hyrcanus, he conquered Idumea, which is Edom, right? Which is one of the land masses of Edom. Go over. Read.
Territories of
It says he forced.
He forced Idumea to convert to Judaism.
He forced Idumea. And when it's talking about Idumea, is this saying a few Idumeans or some Idumeans? No. It's saying all Idumeans, like we read in the book of Josephus. He converted all Idumeans to convert to Judaism, which is the practice of keeping God's laws. Read.
The first example of conversion imposed by the Jews and their history.
And what made that so special is that's the first time that ever happened. That was the first time that the Jews ever forced another group or nation of people to convert to Judaism, keeping of God's laws. Hey, we can stop right there. So once again, I'm just showing you to show you that Idumea, hold on, I'm showing you that Idumea, even though in general it represents Edom, specifically it represents Amalek, the group of Edom that converted and began to call themselves Jews. Also, when we were reading Revelation chapter 2 and 9 and Revelation 3 and 9, that's who Christ was talking about. He was talking about those Edomites, those Idumeans that were forced to convert. He was talking about their descendants. Because this is where you get Herod from. Herod and his line, they come from these Idumeans. They are the descendants of these Idumeans that John Hyrcanus I forced to convert. Yep. When you go into history of it, go over. I got anything else?
No.
Nothing else? All praises. Hey, give me the book of Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. Proverbs 3 and 31.
Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
Here we go.
And choose none of his ways.
Envy thou not the oppressor. Who's the oppressor? Edom, Esau, Idumea, which includes the counterfeits, the so-called Jewish man and woman. That's the oppressor. Read it again.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
And what?
And choose none of his ways.
We read that earlier. in Wisdom of Solomon too, when he said, we esteem them as counterfeits. We abstain from their ways as from filthiness. It's saying the same exact thing, man. It's saying the same exact thing. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Whatever you see the oppressor doing, don't do it, man. Don't do it. That's what that's saying. And if you do start doing what the oppressor is doing, you know why you're doing it? Huh? It's because you're envious of your oppressor. You're jealous of the white man and the white woman. You want to be the white man and the white woman. Most likely, if you could go to God right now, you would go to God and say, God, give me blonde hair and blue eyes. That's what you would say. I'm just being honest, yo. Read it again and read it through.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Read.
For the froward is abomination to the Lord.
You know who the froward is? To be froward is to be deceitful, to be fraud or false, or to be a liar. Yep, yeah. Revelations 2 and 9 and 3 and 9, I think he called the synagogue of Satan liars, right? Mm-hmm. He called them frauds, right? People who claim to be something that they're not, right? That's the froward. Read it again.
For the froward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous.
But his secrets are with the righteous. Read.
The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked.
There we go. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked. Read.
But he blesseth the habitation of the just.
But he blesses the habitation of the just. This is why in Wisdom of Solomon 2 it says, we pronounce the end of the just to be what? Blessed. Why do we say the end of the just will be blessed? Because that's what all the prophets said before us. That's what they said before us. That's what the word of God says. But he said the wicked, the curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked. Who's the wicked? Malachi 1 and 4. Malachi chapter 1 verse 4.
Book of Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom saith,
we're talking about Edom, which is Esau. Read.
We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places.
Read.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, They shall build.
They shall build.
But I will throw down.
The Lord said he will throw down. Read.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
Here we go.
And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
So that people, Esau, Edom, that people that the Lord has indignation with forever, that's the wicked. That's the wicked. That is the wicked right there, yo. That is the wicked. And the Lord said his curse is in their house. Isaiah 34 and 4. Isaiah 34 and 4. You know we need that.
The book of Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 4.
Read.
And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved.
Hey, get number 3. Put that on the screen. Yeah. Leave that one right there. He's saying all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. What is that talking about? That nuclear missile, yo. It's talking about that nuclear destruction that's coming from the Almighty. Read it again.
The book of Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 4. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved.
And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. Read.
And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
As a scroll. What's that talking about? That's talking about that mushroom cloud that is emitted from the impact of a nuclear explosion. Go over and show the other pictures real quick. Look at that. That's what this is talking about right here. Yeah, read that again real quick. Leave that on the screen and read that again.
The book of Isaiah chapter 34 verse 4. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
Read.
And all their hosts shall fall down.
And all their hosts shall fall down. Read.
As the leaf falleth off from the vine.
What it's talking about is talking about the satellites that's in the upper atmosphere. And everything else that flies in the upper atmosphere. Those things are coming down. Read.
And as a falling fig from the fig tree.
Read.
Verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven.
Here we go.
Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea.
It shall come down upon who?
Upon Idumea. And upon the people of my curse to judgment.
And upon the people of my curse to judgment. Remember, the curse of the Lord is in the house of who? The wicked. The wicked. That's talking about Idumea, yo. And then when he's talking about the other people, he's talking about all of Edom. But it's not just Edom, because Edom isn't the only wicked. Real talk. The other nations. Matter of fact, give me Job 27 and 1. Let me get that real quick.
Book of Job 27 verse 1. Moreover, Job continued his parable.
Moreover, Job continued his parable. This is a parable right here. This is a parable. Jump down to verse 7.
Verse 7. Let my enemy.
Let mine enemies. In this parable, Job represents the elect of God. That remnant. Read it again.
Let my enemy be as the wicked.
Let my enemies be as the wicked. See, whoever makes themselves an enemy to God's elect, they are as the wicked. Meaning they are as Edom. They are as Esau. They are just like the white man and white woman, yo. Read it again.
Let my enemy be as the wicked.
Uh-huh.
And he that riseth up against me as the unrighteous.
And he that riseth up against me as the unrighteous. So anyone who is an enemy to God's people, his elect, they are the wicked. They are just like the wicked. And that's talking about the other nations, because the other nations are against us. They rise up against us. They made themselves enemies to us. Give me that real quick in Numbers 24 and 8 about the nations being our enemies, being against us. Let me get that.
Book of Numbers chapter 24 verse 8. God brought him forth out of Egypt.
Talking about the nation of Israel, right?
He hath as it were the strength of a unicorn.
The unicorn is the rhinoceros, right?
He shall eat up the nations, his enemies.
Here we go. He shall eat up the nations, his enemies. Read.
And shall break their bones, and pierce them through with his arrow.
And that's talking about in the kingdom. The point we wanted was the nations are our enemies. The nations have risen up against us. They made themselves like the wicked. Show. They have made themselves like the wicked. But it's not just the nations. Sometimes it's our own people. Sometimes our own people make themselves enemies to us, yo. And guess what they become? Just like the wicked. Give me Micah 2 and 8. Just get one precept about our own people becoming enemies.
Micah.
Yeah, Micah chapter 2 and 8.
The book of Micah chapter 2 and verse 8. Even of late, my people is risen up as an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Ye pull off the robe with the garment from them that pass by securely, as men averse from war.
There you go. So even our own people can be our enemy. And when our own people makes themselves enemies to us, they also become as the wicked, Joe. They also become as the wicked. This is why in Sirach it says, when the ungodly curses Satan, you curse your own soul. Because you made yourself just like Satan. You made yourself just like our enemy. You made yourself just like the wicked. Real talk. And we know that the curse is in the house of the wicked. Give me that one more time in Proverbs 3 and 33. One more time.
The book of Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 33. The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked.
The curse of the Lord is in the house of the wicked. Read.
But he blesseth the habitation of the just.
But he blesses the habitation of the just. Hey, get what it means to be just in Ezekiel 18 and 5 real quick. I wasn't even going to put this in there, but might as well.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 18 verse 5.
Uh-huh.
But if a man be just,
But if a man or a woman be just, read.
and do that which is lawful and right,
That's what makes you just. You're just when you do the things that are lawful and right, yo. That's what makes you just. And when we're talking about lawful, we're talking about according to God. When we're talking about right, we're talking about according to God. That's what makes you just. Give me Psalm 37 and 22.
the book of Psalms 37 verse 22. For such as be blessed of him,
For such as be blessed of him, that's talking about the just. The just will be blessed. Read.
shall inherit the earth,
They shall inherit the earth. They will have heaven on earth. Yo, read.
and they that be cursed
But
of
those
him
that be cursed of him, that's talking about the wicked. Read.
shall be cut off.
They shall be cut off, yo. They will be cut off. Them and their children, their grandchildren, their seed with them. They will be cut off. Jump down to verse 28 to show that.
Verse 28. For the Lord loveth judgment,
Our God loves judgment.
and forsaketh not his
He
saints.
doesn't forsake his saints. Read.
They are perversed forever.
They are preserved forever. Read.
But the seed of the wicked
Here we go. But the seed of the wicked, read,
shall be cut off.
shall be cut off. The wicked and their goddamn children, their grandchildren, their seed shall be cut off. Thus saith the Lord, Joe. And guess what? When they're cut off, you're going to see that thing. Jump down to verse 34.
Verse 34. Wait on the Lord,
Wait on the Lord, read.
and keep his way,
And keep his way, read.
and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land.
And you will have heaven on earth, read.
When the wicked are cut off,
When the wicked are cut off, here we go.
thou shalt see.
Thou shalt see it. You're going to see the wicked cut off. along with their seed, man. You know that goes back to, what is it? Psalm 91. Give me that. Psalm 91. Psalm 91 and 5. Let's start there.
Book of Psalms 91 and verse 5. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night,
Terror is coming by night. Read.
nor the arrow that flieth by day.
That arrow is that nuclear missile. That's going to be in the air by day, in the daytime. Keep reading.
Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness.
Terror comes in the darkness by night. Read.
Nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
And the arrow flies by day. What time by day? Noonday. And you might be saying, noon when? Noon Jerusalem time. Real talk. Keep going.
1,000 shall fall at thy side,
You want to see 1,000 falling at your left-hand side. Read.
and 10,000 at thy right
And
hand.
you want to see 10,000 falling at your right-hand side. Read.
But it shall not come nigh thee.
But it will not come near you. Read.
Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold,
Only with your eyes shall you behold and what?
and see the reward
And see the reward of who?
of the wicked.
Of the wicked. You're going to see them cut off. Them and their seed. You are going to see them cut off. Give me Proverbs 2 and 22.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 2 and verse 22. But the wicked shall be cut off
From where?
from the earth.
They're going to be cut off from the earth. The Bible says the wicked shall be cut off from the earth. Read.
But the transgressors shall be rooted out of it.
And the transgressors shall be rooted out of it. Talking about out of the earth. So when he says the wicked shall be rooted out of the earth, meaning they're going to be cut off. Excuse me, the wicked shall be cut off from the earth. Excuse me. They're going to be cut off. Who is this talking about? Well, first and foremost, it's talking about Edom. Edom, yo. And they are dumb. Edom, yo. Give me the book of Ezekiel chapter 25 and verse 12. I want 12 and 13.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 25 and verse 12.
Read.
Thus saith the Lord God, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them.
Read.
Therefore thus saith the Lord God, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom,
The Lord said he will stretch out his hand upon Edom. Read.
and will cut off man and beast
And he
from
said, I
it.
will cut off man and beast from Edom. He's going to cut off man and beast from Edom. Read.
And I will make it desolate
Uh-huh.
from Teman,
Uh-huh.
and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword.
Hey, give me Obadiah. How is he going to cut off Edom? How? Well, we know a lot of them are going to be cut off in that destruction. We already know that one. But let's find out about the rest of Edom. Obadiah, let's get verse 1 first so we know who Obadiah is talking about.
Look at Obadiah, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom.
Concerning who?
Concerning Edom.
Concerning Edom. So the vision of Obadiah concerns Edom. Finish the verse.
We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen.
Uh-huh.
Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
This is future prophecy. Jump over to verse 9 for me.
Verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman,
And thy mighty men, O Teman.
shall be...
Teman, in case you don't know, that's Esau, Edom again. Teman is Esau, Edom. Get that. Genesis 36. Just in case. Genesis chapter 36. 10 and 11. About Teman.
The book of Genesis, chapter 36, and verse 11.
Verse 10 and 11.
Verse 10, Salakia. These are the names of Esau's sons. Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau.
Read.
Ruel, the son of Bashemoth, the wife of Esau.
Read.
And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman.
Were who?
Were Teman.
That's Edom right there. Teman is Edom. He is one of the sons of Eliphaz. He's Esau. Finish that verse.
Omar, Zepho, and Gatham, and Kenaz.
All praises. Let's go back to the book of Obadiah, verse 9 again.
Obadiah, verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman,
Teman is Esau. Read.
shall be dismayed.
They shall be dismayed. Read.
To the end that every one of the mount of Esau
To the end that every one of the mount of Esau, read.
may be cut off,
Cut off how?
by slaughter.
By what?
By slaughter.
That's how they're going to be cut off. They're going to be cut off by slaughter, yo. This is how God is going to cut off Edom. By slaughter. Verse 10.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob,
For thy violence against the 12 tribes of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, read.
shame shall cover thee,
Shame will cover Esau, read.
and thou shalt be cut
How
off
long?
forever.
And thou shalt be cut off forever. The Lord is going to cut them off forever. and he's going to cut them off by slaughter. Give me Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21. Isaiah 14 and 21.
The book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children.
Read it again.
Prepare slaughter for his children.
Prepare slaughter for whose children? Edom's children. Esau's children. Prepare a slaughter for his children. Read.
For the iniquity of their fathers.
And this is why this slaughter is prepared for them. It's prepared for them because of the iniquities of their fathers, yo. Read.
That they do not rise.
That they do not rise into prominence ever again. Read.
Nor possess the land.
Nor possess the earth ever again. Read.
Nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Nor fill the face of the world with cities ever again. Read.
For I will rise up against them.
And this is when that slaughter is going to take place. That slaughter is going to take place when the Lord himself rises up against them, against Edom. Read it again.
For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts.
Read.
And cut off from
And will what?
And cut off from Babylon.
He said, I will cut off from Babylon. Babylon is the United States of America. He said, I will cut off from Babylon what?
The name.
He said, I'm going to cut off the name of the good old U.S. of A. Read.
And remnant.
And he said he's going to cut off the remnant. The remnant is talking about the Americans that are abroad when this place gets destroyed. They will be killed too. Real talk. You read?
And sons.
And sons.
And nephews.
And nephews.
Saith the Lord.
And that's thus saith the Lord, man. That's thus saith the Lord. This is how Edom is going to be cut off. They're going to be cut off by slaughter. And that slaughter is going to be at the hands of God's people, the Israelites. Matter of fact, didn't put this in the class, but I want it anyway. Ezekiel 25 and 14. Ezekiel 25 and 14. Let me get that.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 25 verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom.
He said, I will lay my vengeance upon Edom. Read.
By the hand of my people Israel.
By the hand of his people Israel. Israel, yo. Black and brown and Native Indian people. Read.
That's right.
And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger.
And we're going to do in Edom according to God's anger. Not your own anger, but according to God's anger. Read.
And according to my fury.
We're going to do in Edom according to God's fury. Not your own fury, but according to God's fury. Is that it?
No.
Finish it out.
And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord God.
And Edom will know the vengeance of God. They will know it. And they're going to know it at the hands of God's people. Man, that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. The wicked will be cut off. Edom will be cut off. But it's not just Edom only. It's not just Edom only. I'll give you an example. Give me Zechariah 9. Give me Zechariah 9 and 6.
The book of Zechariah chapter 9 and verse 6.
Read.
And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
Read that again.
And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
He said a bastard will dwell in Ashdod. Read.
And I will cut off the pride of the Philistines.
He said, I will cut off the pride of the Philistines, man. So a bastard dwells in Ashdod. The Philistines, they're going to be cut off. The pride of the Philistines will be cut off. The question is, who is this bastard and who are these Philistines? Hey, next folder. Good, yeah. We're going to read both of those. Let me know when we're straight. We good? Yep. All right.
Gaza, Ashkelon, and Ashdod are still inhabited today.
So Gaza, Ashkelon, and Ashdod are still inhabited today. Read.
With Gaza controlled by Palestine.
So Gaza is controlled by the Palestinians. Palestine, read.
And Ashkelon and Ashdod under Israeli authority.
And Ashkelon and Ashdod under Israeli authority. And Zechariah, he told us a bastard would dwell in Ashdod. Who's that bastard? Oh, Israelis. That's the bastard right there that dwells in Ashdod. Read the next part.
Ashdod today is home to the largest Moroccan.
So I read. Ashdod today is home to the largest Moroccan and Karaite Jewish communities in Israel and to the largest Georgian Jewish community in the world. So who is in Ashdod? In Ashdod, Moroccan, Karaite, and Georgian Jews or Jewish people. Israelis. What did the prophet Zechariah call them? Bastards. can't get mad at me, and you can't say it's anti-Semitic. Because the prophet...
Zechariah.
The prophet Zechariah is a Jew.
Fact.
He's an Israelite.
That's right.
He's a descendant of Shem. So you can't say it's anti-Semitic, man. Real talk, go over real quick.
Now we know who's in Ashdod. Go over. Look at this real quick. Read that.
The word Palestine.
The word Palestine, read.
Derives from ancient Greek Philistia.
Damn. The word Palestine comes from the ancient Greek word Philistia, yo. Philistia. So the word Palestine comes from Philistia. Just like the word Palestinian comes from Philistine. Guess who today's Philistines are? The Palestinians, man. The Palestinians are those Philistines. Go over real quick. Look at this, Palestine. Go over. Go over. Let me see here. Yeah, read this for me.
Palestine, area of the eastern Mediterranean region, comprising parts of modern Israel and the Palestinian territories of the Gaza Strip, along the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, and the West Bank, west of the Jordan River.
So the Palestinians, they control the Gaza Strip and they control the West Bank. I'm going to say it again. The Palestinians control the Gaza Strip. That's what you see being bombed today. And they control the West Bank. Go over. Nope, go over. This is it. First sentence.
The word Palestine derives from Philistia.
Once again, the word Palestine comes from the word Philistia. Read.
The name given by Greek writers to the land of the Philistines.
To the land of the Philistines. So the word Palestine comes from the word Philistia. Just like the word Palestinian comes from the word Philistine. Comes from the word Philistines. Go over real quick. Yeah. So who are the Palestinian people? Who are the Philistines of today? Let's see. Read that.
The Palestinian people are Arabs.
They go to Philistines of today. Them goddamn Arabs, yo. Them damn Arabs that call themselves Palestinians. They're calling themselves Philistines. They're calling themselves Philistines. That's what they calling themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's not my fault that they stole land and stole somebody's name like the Caucasian they're fighting. That's their fault. Go over real quick. Read this.
Ishmaelite.
Go over. This is the definition of an Ishmaelite, who the Ishmaelites are. Read.
All Arabs, following Muhammad's example, claim descent from Ishmael.
All Arabs are Ishmael, yo. Including them goddamn Palestinians. Those Philistines. Mm-hmm. They are Ishmael. Is that it?
Yes.
That's it? Read Zechariah 9:6 again.
Book of Zechariah chapter 9 verse 6. And a bastard.
And who?
And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
A bastard dwells in Ashdod today. Who's that bastard that dwells in Ashdod? That's right, the counterfeits. The Israelis, the Moroccan, Karaite, and Georgian Jewish people. That's the bastard that's in Ashdod today. Read.
And I will cut off the pride of the Philistines.
And he said he will cut off the pride of the Philistines. Who are the Philistines? The damn Palestinians. Those damn Palestinians. The Lord said he's going to cut them off. He's going to cut off their pride, Joe. Real talk. Hey, give me Amos chapter 1 and verse 6 about Gaza. We brought this out a couple times, but we're going to bring it out again. Read.
Book of Amos chapter 1 verse 6. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Gaza.
For 3 transgressions of Gaza. Gaza has sinned against God 3 times, right?
And for 4.
Even 4 times, right?
I will not turn away the punishment thereof.
The Lord said he will not turn away the punishment that's coming to Gaza. You got a lot of people today, they want to get together and they want to pray for Palestine. They want to pray for Gaza. They want to pray for ceasefires. They want to pray that the bombing stops. Let me let you in on a secret. You can pray as much as you want. Ain't nothing changing. Nothing is changing until God says it's changing, yo. Because he said he ain't turning away the punishment of Gaza. Keep going.
Because they carried away captive the whole captivity.
And did what?
To deliver them up to Edom.
And this is why he's not turning away the punishment of Gaza. Because of what they did to his people. You ever heard of the transatlantic slave trade? The sub-Saharan slave trade? Guess who was a part of that? The Arabs, man. The Arabs. Including them damn Palestinians. Including them damn Palestinians. That's who was a part of that. They sold us as slaves, man.
That's why God is judging Gaza today. But he's not just judging them based on what they did in time past. It's also for what they continue to do. Give me that in 2 Ezra 15. We'll come back here. Give me 2 Ezra chapter 15. I want to read 20 and 21.
Book of 2 Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 20.
Read.
Behold, saith God, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me,
He's going to call together all of the kings of the earth. Read.
which are from the rising of the
The
sun.
rising of the sun, we went over this multiple times. That's talking about from China, from Japan. Remember, Japan is called the land of the rising sun. Keep going.
From the south,
From the south,
from the east,
from the east,
and Lebanus,
and from Lebanon. Read.
to turn themselves one against another.
To turn themselves one against another, to fight. What is this talking about? World War. World War III. Read.
And repay the things that they have done to them.
And the Lord is doing this to repay these nations, including the Arab nations, Ishmael. He's doing this to pay them back for all the things that they've done to us in time past. Read.
Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen.
And not only is he paying them back for the things that they've done to us in time past, he's also paying them back for the things that they continue to do to us, even to this very day, yo. Even to this very day. I need my next folder. Let me get my next folder. Yeah, we're going to play this. Let me know when we straight.
Fair use, fair use.
Oh, yeah, fair use, goddammit, fair use. I always forget to download the fair use thing.
Don't worry, though. I got you.
Let me know when we straight. Hey, try to. Does it get any larger than this? Double tap the screen for me. Oh, no? Never mind then. Let me see. It looks all right anyway. Go ahead.
A scene all too familiar in West Darfur. Social media footage widely circulated last week showing RSF soldiers and supporting militia rounding up men.
Hey, pause this.
Harass.
You see what it says? We will not leave any black skin here. Hey, in case y'all want to know who the people are that are perpetrating this in the Darfur region, it's Arabs. It's Ishmael, yo. It is Ishmael. Look at the caption. Refugees describe atrocities against African ethnic groups fleeing Darfur. Damn. Press play.
Threatening them. CNN has been able to geolocate these videos, placing them in Ardamata, an outlying district of El Jineina, the capital of West Darfur, where some of the worst atrocities during the recent war have taken place.
Damn. Let it go.
In our family, we lost more than 40 men.
They said to my father, we're going to rape your daughter in front of you. The RSF said, leave these ones. We will find better ones to sell.
You know what she said? She said the RSF, they told her father, we're going to rape your daughters in front of you, yeah. Leave these ones. Just rape these. We'll find better looking girls to sell. These are Arabs. This is Ishmael. Keep going.
Let's rape them. Textbook ethnic cleansing.
Textbook.
These are the whole...
Textbook ethnic cleansing. Textbook ethnic cleansing. You know what's crazy, yo? I'm going to tell you what's crazy. Arabs over there in Gaza, they want us to feel bad for them because they're being bombed, right? And they claim that the Jewish people are doing a Nakba in ethnic cleansing. So they want us to feel bad for them. Join in on a cause. Speak up for them. But they won't tell you that their brothers over there in the Sudan, in the Darfur region, are doing the same thing to us. They're doing the same thing to us that they're complaining and crying about. They're doing the same exact thing to us. And that's why it's happening to their asses, yo. It's happening to them because that's what they do to us, man. Press play.
of genocide.
Hey,
CNN interviewed her.
Yeah, come out of this real quick. Click on that right there, that screenshot. Yeah, so, because we heard her say the RSF. The RSF, Rapid Support Forces, look, Arabic. I want to put that up there, Arabic. Are paramilitary forces formerly operated by the government of Sudan. So the RSF, that's Arabs, yo. Those are Arabs that are doing that to our people in the Darfur region in the Sudan. Go out, go to my third video, click that.
7 months after the start of the war in Sudan, civilians still bear the brunt of the conflict that pits the paramilitary group RSF against the nation's armed forces. Fears of a repeat of a genocide in Darfur, a region in western Sudan, are mounting. The European Union condemned Sunday ethnic cleansing of Darfur's Masalit people by the RSF paramilitary. The bloc cited reports that over 1,000 people had been killed. The Masalit people are a non-Arab group who reside mainly in Chad and Darfur, a region about the size of Spain. Citing local monitors, Al Jazeera reported that about 1,300 Masalit Sudanese were killed by RSF fighters in early November. The UN Human Rights Office said in July it obtained credible information stating that bodies of Masalit Sudanese and others allegedly killed in June by RSF and their allied militias were buried in a mass grave outside of West Darfur's capital. Fighting rages in Sudan despite the warring parties signing a statement after talks in Saudi Arabia. The resident UN humanitarian coordinator for Sudan said on Friday that the belligerents committed to establishing a humanitarian fund with UN participation, adding 25 million Sudanese require assistance.
And like the before and after pictures of the war.
There you go. Yeah, we were dropping on them damn bombs. Hey, go from there. Give me 2nd Ezra 15:56, please. 2nd Ezra 15:56.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 56. Like as thou hast done unto my chosen.
Like as thou hast done unto my chosen. What are they doing to the chosen people of God? Ishmael, Arabs. What are they doing to the chosen people of God? They're murdering the chosen people of God in the Sudan and the Darfur region. Ethnic cleansing is happening to the chosen people of God in the Congo, in the Sudan, in the Darfur region. And that's just one thing that I brought out, Joe. That's just one thing that I brought out. There are so many different things we can bring out to show about these damn Arabs around the world and what they're doing to our people. How they're enslaving us in places like Yemen. Real talk. Read this verse again.
Verse 56. Like as thou hast done unto my chosen.
Read.
Saith the Lord. Even so shall God do unto thee.
So shall God do unto thee. Read.
And shall deliver thee into mischief.
And shall deliver thee into evil, Joe. Evils are coming upon Ishmael, the Arab people, the Palestinian people. Why? Because of the evils that they do to us. Go back to the book of Amos 1 and verse 6.
The book of Amos chapter 1 verse 6. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive the whole captivity, to deliver them up to Edom.
Read.
But I will send a fire on the wall of Gaza, which shall devour the palaces thereof.
And that's what you see happening today. You're seeing Gaza, you're seeing their infrastructure, their buildings being destroyed, Joe. Being destroyed. Their schools, their hospitals, residential areas being destroyed. Hey, play this video real quick. I wasn't even going to play it, but play it anyway. That one right there. Let me know when we're good. This right here is what Amos chapter 1 and verse 7 is talking about right here. All right. Pause. Drone footage shows the destruction in Gaza after days of Israeli airstrikes. Israel says that over 6 days it dropped more than 6,000 bombs onto the Gaza Strip. This is Amos 1 and 7, targeting Hamas command centers, weapons, and fighters. And this is just the beginning. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. The massive assault came after Hamas attacked Israel, killing 1,200 people. The Palestinians' health ministry says more than 1,500 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza. Many were civilians. The Shati refugee camp has also been badly hit. Damn. Drone footage also shows what remains of the supernova music. What? Go back. Of the supernova festival site in Israel. Where 260 people were killed as they tried to escape Hamas gunmen. Oh, we don't care about the rest of this, man. All I cared about was Gaza and their infrastructure being destroyed. Right. Amos 1 and 8.
The book of Amos chapter 1 and verse 8. And I will cut off the inhabitant from Ashdod.
Who's in Ashdod today? That's right. A bastard. A bastard dwelleth in Ashdod today. That's talking about the Moroccan, Karaite, Georgian Jewish people. Read it again.
And I will cut off the inhabitant from Ashdod.
Read.
And him that holdeth the scepter from Ashkelon.
And he said, and him that holdeth the scepter in Ashkelon. Y'all probably don't even remember what we read. Go back to my fourth folder real quick. Let me go back to my fourth folder. Let me see if that's the one. Click that. Is that it? Yeah. Put that back on the screen. Because he said, I will cut off the inhabitants from Ashdod and him that holdeth the scepter from Ashkelon. Who is that? Read the first box when he gets it right. We straight? Read that.
Gaza, Ashkelon, and Ashdod are still inhabited today.
See, Ashkelon right there. It's still inhabited today, just like Gaza and Ashdod. Read.
With Gaza controlled by Palestine.
Here we go.
And Ashkelon and Ashdod are under Israeli authority.
So just like Ashdod, Ashkelon is controlled today by those counterfeits. So-called Israelis control Ashkelon today. Amos 1 and 8 again.
The book of Amos chapter 1 verse 8. And I will cut off the inhabitant from Ashdod.
Read.
And him that holdeth the scepter from Ashkelon.
And him that holdeth the scepter from Ashkelon. Who is this? The counterfeits. The Israeli. Read.
And I will turn my hand against Ekron.
Ekron is also inhabited today. And who controls it? Israelis. But keep going.
And the remnant of the Philistines.
Here we go. And the remnant of the Philistines
shall perish.
Read.
Saith the Lord God.
Who are the Philistines? The Philistines today, in case you forgot, are the Palestinians. It's the Palestinians. Now the question becomes, who is the remnant of the Palestinians that are going to perish? Well, remember, we read that earlier that the Palestinians control 2 territories in Israel, right? They control Gaza and they control the West Bank. Well, we already read about Gaza being destroyed. Guess who the remnant of the Philistines are here?
The West Bank.
The ones in the West Bank, man. The Palestinians in the West Bank. They're going to be cut off too. They are going to be cut off too. And he said they are going to perish. Hey, give me the book of Numbers chapter 24. Numbers 24, let's start at 14.
The book of Numbers chapter 24 verse 14. And now, behold, I go unto my people. Come therefore, and I will advertise thee what this people shall do to thy people.
This is a man named Balaam, a prophet, talking to the king of Moab. At this time, his name was Balak. This is the prophet Balaam, the mad prophet Balaam, that's what the Bible calls him, a mad prophet. The mad prophet Balaam talking to this Moabite Chinese king named Balak. And Balak, he wanted Balaam to curse the children of Israel. Now, Balaam said he's going to advertise, or he's going to show or tell, or show and tell Balak what the people of Israel are going to do to the Moabite people in the last days. Keep reading.
And he took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor hath said, and the man whose eyes are open hath said,
Read.
He hath said, which heard the words of God, and knew the knowledge of the Most High,
Read.
which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance by having his eyes open.
So this man would see visions from God. And when he would fall into a trance. And he would have his eyes open through the vision. Keep going.
I shall see him, but not now.
He's talking about the Lord. He said, I will see him, but not now. Not in this lifetime. Read.
I shall behold him, but not now.
He said, I'm going to behold him, but I won't be near him. Read.
There shall come a star out of Jacob.
That star that's coming out of Jacob, Jesus the Christ. Read.
And a scepter shall rise out of Israel.
That scepter that will rise out of Israel, Jesus the Christ. Read.
And shall smite the corners of Moab.
Here we go. And shall smite the corners of Moab. Read.
And destroy all the children of Sheth.
And shall destroy all the children of Sheth. Yo, 6 folder about who the children of Sheth is. We got to get that real fast. About who are the children of Sheth. I mean, don't we straight. You brought this out a long time ago. We haven't done it in a minute. You know what I'm saying? So I figured, hey, I might as well just bring it out again. All right, read that. This is from Easton's Bible's Dictionary. Bible Dictionary. Read that.
The children of Sheth, Numbers 24:17, RV. The sons of Tamot.
That's what the children of Sheth, that's what it means. That's who they are. That's who they be. They are the sons of the Tamot. Finish it.
Which are probably the correct rendering, as there is no evidence that this is a proper name here.
But there is evidence that that's the proper name.
The evidence is in the Bible.
There is evidence. They are the sons of the tumult, yo.
They are the sons of the tumult. Hey, give me Psalm chapter 83 about that real quick. Because we're going to show you that it is in the Bible. It is. Remember, he said he's going to destroy all the sons of Sheph, right? He's going to destroy all of the sons of the tumult, right? Psalm chapter 83, start at 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Keep not thou silence, O God.
Read.
Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God.
Read.
For lo, thine enemies
For look, the enemies of God, read.
make a tumult.
Make a tumult, yo. The enemies of God are the children of Sheph, the sons of the tumult. Read that part again.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Read.
And they that hate thee
And they that hate God, talking about his enemies, read.
have lifted up the head.
They've gotten power. They have gotten power. Jump down to 6 for the enemies.
Verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom.
Edom is the so-called white man, the wicked. Read.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites, that's the so-called Arab man. Read.
Of Moab.
Of Moab, the Chinese.
And the Hagarenes.
Those are Nilotic Africans. Read.
Gabal.
More Nilotic Africans. Read.
And Ammon.
Japanese people. Read.
And Amalek.
And Amalek, that's Idumea. That's the Israeli. That's another Caucasian. Keep reading.
The Philistines.
The Philistines. Who are the Philistines today?
Palestine.
The Palestinians.
Read.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
More Nilotic Hamites. Read.
Ashur also is joined with them. They have hoped the children of Lot, Selah.
They have strengthened the children of Lot, being Moab and Ammon. Now, jump down to verse 13.
Verse 13. Oh my God, make them like a will.
Make them like a will. Who is he talking about? He's talking about those nations in verses 6 through 8. Read it again.
Oh my God, make them like a will.
Read.
As the stubble before the wind.
Make them like the will, as the stubble before wind. Read.
As the fire burneth a wood.
Fire burns wood until it's completely burned. Keep going.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
Uh-huh.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
Read.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Read.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name, O Lord.
Read.
Let them be confounded and troubled forever.
Here we go.
Yea, let them be put to shame.
And what?
And perish.
And perish. And perish. Or be destroyed.
Who is he talking about?
All those nations in 6 through 8. Those are the children of Sheth that the Lord is coming back to destroy them. Finish the chapter.
Verse 18. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Jehovah,
Or Yahweh, read.
art the most high over all the earth.
Go back to the book of Numbers chapter 24. Numbers chapter 24, I want to read 17 again.
Book of Numbers chapter 24, verse 17. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab,
And shall smite the corners of Moab,
and destroy all the children of
and
Sheth.
shall destroy all of the children of Sheth, all of the sons of the tumult, which would include the tabernacles of Edom, Ishmael, Ammon, Moab, the Hagarenes, Gabal, the Philistines, Amalek. This is who he's talking about destroying. But keep going.
And Edom shall be a possession.
And Edom shall be a possession. When it's talking about Edom, it's twofold. It's talking about the place and the people. Lord's will, we of that number, we will possess the place and the people.
Yo,
Oh, you dropped the bomb.
there you go.
And when it's talking about the people, it's talking about a remnant of the people. A remnant of Edom. Because remember, a lot of them are going to be cut off when this destruction comes. And then the rest of them, a lot more of them are going to be cut off by slaughter. So it's only going to be a remnant of Edom left. Give me that real quick in Amos 9 and 11. I want 11 and 12. Let me get that.
Book of Amos chapter 9 and verse 11. And that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David
Read.
that is fallen,
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Read.
and close up the breaches thereof.
He says he's going to close up the breaches of the tabernacle of David. Meaning what? Meaning he's going to build up the kingdom as one kingdom. He's going to take away that divide between the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. In that day, Judah will no longer vex Ephraim. Ephraim will no longer envy Judah. That's what it's saying. Keep reading.
And I will raise up his ruins,
Uh-huh.
and I will build it as in the days of old.
He's going to build it as it was builded in the days of old. It was builded in the days of old as one nation under one king. That's how it's going to be built up again. Read.
that they may possess the remnant of Edom.
There we go. See, we're not going to possess all of Edom, but we are going to possess a remnant of Edom. Read.
And of all the heathen, which are called by the name, saith the Lord that doeth this.
And we're going to possess a remnant, the remnant of all the heathen, yo. Those that are called by his name, those that call themselves Jewish, and those that call themselves Christians. We are going to possess the remnants of the heathens, including Edom, that are left behind. And when we're talking about possessing the remnants of the heathen, we're not talking about possessing the remnant of the heathen that are poor. We're not talking about possessing the remnant of the heathen who are confused on whether or not they're middle class or not.
That confused their boy or girl.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. Give me Isaiah 29
About which heathen we're going to possess among the heathen, if that makes sense.
Isaiah 29:22. Read that.
The book of Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 22. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, who redeemed Abraham, concerning the house of Jacob. Jacob.
Oh, my fault.
49 and 22.
My fault. What did I say, 29?
Yeah.
Oops.
The book of Isaiah chapter 49
Going
verse
through the
22.
whole class without a mess of it. Here we go. Damn it, man. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will lift up my hand to the Gentiles,
Read.
and set up my standard to the people.
Read.
And they shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders.
Keep going.
And kings,
And who?
and kings
Uh-huh.
shall be thy nursing fathers,
Kings will be nursing fathers. Read.
and their queens thy nursing mothers.
And queens will be nursing mothers.
These are the remnants of the heathen that we're taking captive, that we're going to possess. They're kings and they're queens. Now today we know they're kings and their queens to be what? The elite.
The 1%. That's who God says we're going to possess, yo.
The ones that don't know they boys and girls.
Not the average. Not the average one. Not the poor. Not the one who doesn't know if he or she is middle class or not. No, we're taking their kings and their queens, their royalty, their elite into slavery, yo. Finish the verse.
They shall bow down to thee.
The kings and the queens, the elite, shall bow down to us, yo. Including the elite of Amalek. The elite of the so-called Jewish man. When we read Genesis 3 and 9, when he said they're going to come and bow down before your feet, you thought he was talking about poor Jewish people.
You thought he was talking about the Amalekites that are working 2 jobs. That's what you thought. He's not talking about them, man. He's talking about their elite. He's talking about their kings and their queens. He's talking about their politicians. He's talking about Benjamin Netanyahu. That's who he's talking about. Keep reading, yo. Keep reading, priest.
They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet.
I see brothers today, they be at camp, they get heathens to bow down and kiss their boots. And they say, I'm fulfilling prophecy, No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not fulfilling prophecy until they bow down and kiss your boot and then lick the bottom of your boot that you've been standing on the dirty street at camp for hours with. That's when they're fulfilling the prophecy.
So basically, you don't see Trump doing it.
No. Oh, yeah. And that's even more important. Thank you for pointing that out. It can't be the poor on the street doing it. It can't be the random people out there doing
Gotta
it.
be named.
Like he said, it's gotta be Trump.
Yeah.
It's gotta be Biden.
And you
It's
know how
gotta be
rappers
Jeff
like-
Sessions.
Yeah, you know how rappers like throw Trump name
Come
into it.
on,
That's how I'm about to be. I got to throw the Trump name into it.
Y'all getting homeless Edomites to come kiss your feet. That's not a fulfillment of this
As a
prophecy.
matter of fact, they trying to get fed anyways, so I think
And they enjoy it. They enjoy it like the elder be saying. They got a fetish. They have a fetish for kissing people's feet, man. But I'm just here to tell you, y'all brothers ain't fulfilling this prophecy. If it ain't the elite, their kings and their queens that's bowing down at your feet, licking up the dust of your feet, this prophecy ain't being fulfilled.
So Prince Harry ain't coming over here.
It ain't being fulfilled.
Queen
Nah.
Elizabeth ain't coming over here.
If it's your dirty next door neighbor, the prophecy ain't being fulfilled. And I was just thinking about my dirty next door neighbor.
I mean, the prophecy ain't being fulfilled. Hell no, y'all niggas tripping. It's the verse show.
And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
Oh, they shall not be ashamed that wait. Remember, we read earlier, if you wait for him, you inherit the earth. You get heaven on the earth.
Right.
In the earth. Psalm chapter 140. Psalm 149. Psalm 149, let's start at verse 5.
Book of Psalms chapter 149 verse 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds.
I love this. Keep reading.
Let the high praises of God be in their mouth,
Read.
and a two-edged sword in their hand.
Hey, today that two-edged sword is the Bible.
Right.
Tomorrow, in the next world, that two-edged sword will be a literal two-edged sword. Keep going.
To execute vengeance upon the heathen,
To execute vengeance upon the heathen.
and punishments upon the people.
And punishments upon the people. Read.
To bind their kings
To
with
bind who?
chains, their kings with chains.
To bind their kings with chains. Read.
And their nobles.
And their nobles. Read.
With feathers of iron.
This is who we're taking. We're taking their kings. We're taking their nobles. We're taking the elite in chains and fetters of iron. Keep going.
To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor.
This what?
This honor.
This thing is an honor. Read.
Have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord.
You gotta praise the Lord for that thing, man.
That's right.
You gotta praise the Lord and pray that you are part of that number, yo. That you get to take part in this honor. Give me Isaiah 60 and 10. Isaiah 60 and 10.
We'll go Isaiah chapter 60, verse 10.
Read.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls.
The strangers here, the heathens, the other nations. God said the strangers, they are going to build up our walls. Read.
And their kings shall minister unto thee.
And their kings shall minister to us. What does the word minister mean? Serve. Their kings will serve. Serve us. Read.
For in my wrath I smote thee. But in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
The Lord's going to have mercy on us. Read.
Therefore thy gates shall be open continually.
He said, therefore your gates will be open continually. All the time. Read.
They shall not be shut.
They shall not be shut.
Day nor night.
Day nor night. Read.
That men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles.
That men may bring the forces of the Gentiles. And next to the word forces, I have an annotation in my Bible. It's the letter T. It says, or wealth. They're going to bring in the forces or the wealth or the riches of the Gentiles. Read.
And that their kings may be bought.
And that their kings may be brought. Bought how? On chains, man. On chains, like we read in Psalm chapter 149. Real talk. Hey, this says the same thing in Revelation chapter 21. Give me Revelation 21. But start at 10. And then jump down to 12. Because it said the gates are going to be open continually. What gates? Read this real quick.
The book of Revelation chapter 21 verse 10.
Read.
And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain. And showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God.
Verse 12.
It had a wall great and high.
Here we go.
It had 12 gates.
It had 12 gates. Those gates, those 12 gates, those are the gates that are going to be open continually. But keep going.
And at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Those are the gates that are going to be open continually, so that the Gentiles can bring us their forces, their wealth, their riches, yo. Jump down to verse 24.
Verse 24. And the nations of them which are saved.
And the nations of them which are saved. What is this talking about? It's talking about the remnants of the nations that survive. That's what it's talking about. Read.
Shall walk in the light of it.
They're going to walk in the light of this city. What is the light of this city? God's law. Christ, he's the light of this city. They're going to have to walk in that light. Keep reading.
And the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it.
And the kings of the earth will have to bring their glory and honor into it. The kings of the earth are coming into it on chains. And right behind them will be their glory and their honor. Their wealth, their riches, their treasures. The gold, the silver, the precious stones, the fine fabrics. That's what it's talking about. Keep going.
And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day.
They will never be shut by day.
For there shall be no night there.
There shall be no night there, meaning no darkness there. Keep going.
And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations into it.
And they're going to bring the forces of the Gentiles, the wealth of the Gentiles into it. Into that city, yo. Into that city. Hey, let's go back to Numbers 24 and 18.
Book of Numbers chapter 24 and verse 18.
Read.
And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession.
Edom shall be a possession. It's talking about the people and the place. Seir shall be a possession. Keep going.
For his enemies.
For his enemies, read.
And Israel shall do valiantly.
Yep. Courageously, read.
Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion.
We know who that is. Christ, read.
And shall destroy him that remaineth of the city.
And he's going to kill those that remain of the city. Jerusalem, read.
And when he looked upon Amalek.
Here we go. And when he looked upon Amalek, read.
He took up his parable and said.
What did he say?
Amalek was the first of the nations.
He said Amalek was the first of the nations. When it's saying Amalek was the first of the nations, what does that mean? Read the annotation in your Bible next to the first of the nations.
All right. Mine says the nation that war against Israel.
So when it says Amalek was the first of the nations, it's saying that Amalek was the first nation to make war with us when we came out of Egypt. That's what it's telling you. When we came out of Egypt, Amalek was the first nation to make war with us. Read that verse again.
The book of Numbers, chapter 24, and verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations.
The first of the nations to make war with us. Read.
But his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
But his latter end shall be that he perish forever. Amalek is going to perish forever. Exodus 17. Let's read 1 and 2.
Book of Exodus, chapter 17, verse 1. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys, according to the commandment of the Lord, and pitched in Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. Wherefore the people did chide with Moses.
The people began to complain and argue with Moses. Read.
And say, Give us water that we may drink.
Read.
And Moses said unto them, Why chide ye with me?
Why are you complaining to me? Why are you arguing with me? Read.
Wherefore do ye tempt the Lord?
Don't you know you tempting the Lord? Jump down to 7.
Verse 7. And he called the name of that place Massa.
That's it.
Massa. And Meribah, because of the chiding of the children of Israel. And because they tempt the Lord.
Because they tempted the Lord. Read.
Saying, Is the Lord among us or not?
Saying, is the Lord here or not? Read.
Then came Amalek.
Then came who?
Then came Amalek.
Read.
And fought with Israel and Rephidim.
And then came Amalek to war with Israel. Remember, Amalek was the first of all the nations to come and war with us when we made our exodus from Egypt. Keep going.
And Moses said unto Joshua, Choose us out of men.
No, choose our women.
Choose us out men.
No, choose our children.
Choose us out men.
And what?
And go out, fight with Amalek.
You know, when we went out to fight, to make war, you know who we sent out to fight and make war? Men. Men. Not men, women, and children. Not women and children. Real talk. Now, I know there are some Israelite camps when they go out to war. I know we're not talking about the physical war like they're talking about, but we're talking about a spiritual war, which is war nonetheless. I know there are a lot of Israelite camps when they go out to war, they like to bring the women and the children with them. That's not our custom. That's something you learned here in America. That's what you learned here in Babylon. You brothers and you sisters. That's feminism, if you want to be honest. That's the woman saying, whatever you can do, I can do better. Real talk. But according to God, we never brought our women and our children out with us. Matter of fact, give me that in Deuteronomy 3. What is it, 18? Let me get that real quick. Real fast, real fast. Deuteronomy chapter 3 and verse 18. Yep, bring it out.
And the book of Deuteronomy chapter 3 and verse 18. And I commanded you at that time, saying, The Lord your God hath given you this land to possess it.
Read.
Ye shall pass over armed before your brethren, the children of Israel, all that are meet for war.
All that are meet for war. That's talking about men. Men that are what? 20 years old and upward. 20 years old and upward when you read Numbers 1 and 18. But keep going.
But your wives.
But your wives.
And your little ones.
And your little ones, talking about your children. Read.
And your cattle. For I know that ye have much cattle.
Read.
Shall abide in your cities.
Shall abide in your cities. Is that it?
No. Which I have given you.
Which I have given you. What does this tell you? Our wives, our women, and our little ones, our children, don't go to war with us, men. They don't go out to fight with us. Whether that war be literal, physical, or whether that war be spiritual. We don't bring our women and our children out to war with us, man. Now, I'm just saying that because here in HNOI, that ain't never going to happen. That is never going to happen. And Lord's will, brothers, smarten up. Because you're going to bring these women and these children out to war, and war going to happen. And there's going to be casualties among the women and the children. And that's going to be harder to deal with than the brothers. I'm just being honest, yo.
And you know what a white man believe in? Collateral damage.
Damn right. And you know what niggas that love the white man believe in? Collateral damage. They don't have a problem with killing women and children. At all. Let's go back to the book of Exodus chapter 17. I want to read verse 9 again.
The book of Exodus chapter 17 verse 9. And Moses said unto Joshua, Choose us out men, and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill, with the rod of God in my hand.
Read.
So Joshua did as Moses had said to him, and fought with Amalek.
He fought with Amalek. Read.
And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill.
Aaron is Moses' brother. Hur is one of Moses' companions, one of his friends. But keep going.
And it came to pass, when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed.
So it came to pass, as Moses would have his hands up, Israel would get the upper hand in the war, in the battle, read.
And when he let down his hand,
But when he let down his hands, read,
Amalek prevailed.
Amalek began to get the upper hand in the war, read.
But Moses' hands were heavy.
But his hands were heavy because he was standing there all day holding up his hands like this, read.
And they took a stone
So they had to take a stone. Aaron and Hur had to take a stone, read,
and put it under him.
and put it under him to prop up his hands, his arms, read.
And he sat thereon.
Uh-huh.
And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hand.
Or he sat on the stone, he sat on the stone, and Aaron and Hur stood beside him holding his arms up, holding his hands up, read.
The one on the other side.
One on one side,
And the other on the other
and
side.
the other on another side, read.
And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun.
And they held his hands up until the sun went down, until the sun set, read.
And Joshua discomfited Amalek
Yep, read.
and his people with the edge of the sword.
With the edge of the sword, read.
And the Lord said unto Moses,
And the Lord said unto Moses what?
write this for a memorial in a book.
Write this for a memorial in a book. And this book is the Bible. Keep going.
And rehearse it in the ears of Joshua.
And rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. Remember, Joshua was a leader. So he's saying, rehearse this in the ears of the leaders of the people. Why? So that the leaders can in turn rehearse this in the ears of the people. Read.
For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek
Oh, he said, I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek. Read.
from under the sun.
From under heaven.
And the heavens.
From under heaven. What's under the heavens? The earth.
The Lord said he will put out the remembrance of Amalek from the earth. Yo, read.
And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi.
Jehovah Nissi. Yep, read.
For he said,
What do you say?
because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war
How long?
with Amalek
For how long?
for generation to generation.
From generation to generation, the Lord has war with Amalek, or Amalek is at war with the Lord, meaning at war with us. Hey, that should also put you up on game, just in case you didn't know. You might not know. But Amalek is still at war with us today.
The so-called Israeli is
Still at war with us today. It's just not all in your face. It's not all in your face so you can see it. Today, their war is covert. It's behind the doors.
Yeah.
It's in the shadow.
Behind your back.
It's done in the dark. But it's still being done nonetheless. They're still at war with you even to this very day. It's just that Negroes, we don't have the eyes to see it. Give me Deuteronomy 25 and 17.
Deuteronomy chapter 25 and verse 17. Remember what Amalek did unto thee, by the way,
Uh-huh.
when ye were come forth out of Egypt.
Read.
How he met thee by the way, and smote the hindmost of
And
thee,
he smote the hindmost of thee. Read.
even all that were feeble behind thee.
Even all that were feeble behind thee. That's talking about women, pregnant women, women that are pregnant with children, women that have small children. That's talking about old people, old men and women. That's talking about handicapped or crippled men and women and young boys and young girls. Like the bro said, it's talking about the weak. Those who were weaker among us. Goddamn cowards, read.
When thou wast faint and weary,
And they did it when we were faint and weary, read.
and he feared not God.
And he did it because he don't fear God. Amalek does not fear God. Trust me, if they feared God, they wouldn't be blaspheming saying they're the Jews. They wouldn't be lying. They wouldn't have stole our identity and our land if they feared God.
They have no gay pride parades that they
There you go. They got the biggest homosexual parade over there in Jerusalem. They don't fear
Hey.
God, man.
It's amazing that the Hamas. I got to look at that more. It's amazing that the Hamas. That sound right? The Israelis, not Israelis. excuse me,
Hamas?
The Hamas. Thank you.
Hamas.
They ain't attacked them on that gay pride parade. They attacked them on like a little ass festival.
I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't be surprised if Hamas has a gay pride parade too.
That's why they didn't do it. It was in the
I'm just gonna be honest. I ain't gonna. Hey, Captain.
I am not shocked. Hamas and the Palestinians, but they do it too. We know y'all do.
We know y'all do.
Yeah, but y'all keep Thanksgiving. We know that over here.
Oh yeah, a bunch of them are traitors. Hey, read verse 19.
Verse 19. Therefore it shall be, when the Lord thy God hath given thee rest.
I wanted to get here for a minute. It shall be when the Lord thy God hath given thee rest. Read.
From all thine enemies round about.
From all your enemies round about you. Read.
And the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance, to possess it.
Here we go.
That thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou shalt not forget it.
Thou shalt not forget it. The Lord said we are going to blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. When? When he gives us rest. when he gives us rest. We are going to blot out even the remembrance of Amalek, the Idumeans, the synagogue of Satan, the counterfeits. We are going to wipe out even their remembrance from under heaven. But when is this going to take place? It's going to take place when the Lord gives us that rest. I want to go ahead and talk about that rest. Let's go to Revelation 20 and 6. Let's start there.
The book of Revelation, chapter 20, and verse 6. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death have no power.
On such the second death have no power. Get the second death in verse 14 real quick.
The book of Revelation, chapter 20, and verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire.
Read.
This is the second death.
So the second death is that lake of fire. Verse 6 again.
Verse 6. Blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection. On such the second death have no power.
Read.
But they shall be priests of God.
They shall be priests of God.
And of Christ.
And of Christ.
And shall reign with him 1,000 years.
And shall reign with him 1,000 years, yo. This 1,000-year reign with Christ, this is that rest that Moses was talking about. This is that rest that Moses was talking about. This 1,000-year reign with Christ. Hey, excuse me. Hey, give me 2 Peter 3 and 8 about 1,000 years real quick. 2 Peter 3 and 8 about 1,000 years.
The book of 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years.
One day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, read.
And 1,000 years as one day.
And 1,000 years is like one day with the Lord. One day with the Lord is like 1,000 years. 1,000 years is like one day. So that 1,000-year reign with Christ is a day. It's one day in the eyes of God. Psalm 90 and 4 says the same thing. This is what Peter was quoting right here.
Book of Psalms chapter 90 and verse 4. For 1,000 years in the sight are but as yesterday when it is past.
So 1,000 years in the eyes of God is like yesterday. You know how fast yesterday went by?
That fast?
Yeah, 1,000 years in the eyes of God is like that. Read.
And as a watch in the night.
1,000 years with God is like a single watch in one night.
A single watch in one night.
That's what 1,000 years is to God, yo. And that's what that 1,000-year rest is. It's a day. It's a day in the eyes of God. Now, what day is it? Give me Hebrews 4 and 4. Let me show you what that day is compared to or likened to. Hebrews 4 and 4.
Book of Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 4. For he spake in a certain place on the seventh day of this wise.
Of what day?
And for he spake in a certain place on the seventh day of this wise. And God did rest the seventh day from all his work.
We read that earlier. That's Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 2. Hey, that 1,000 years that is likened unto a day in the eyes of God is like what day? The seventh day. It's like the seventh day, yo. Hey, jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. For if Jesus had given them rest.
Hey, yo, and guess who's going to give us this rest? Christ.
Keep reading.
Then would he not afterward have spoken of another day?
Then would he have not afterwards spoken of another day? Read.
There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God.
And that's who the rest is for. It's only for the people of God. Who are the people of God? The Israelites.
That's right.
You so-called black and brown and Native Indian men, women, and children. We are the people of God. This rest is for us, men. It is for us. Give me Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 4. Isaiah 61 and 4.
The book of Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 4. And they shall build the old waste. They shall raise up the former desolations. And they shall repair the waste cities. The desolations of many generations.
Keep going.
And strangers shall stand and feed your flock.
He said, and strangers. These strangers here are the heathens, the other nations. Strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. Read.
And the sons of the alien.
And the sons of the alien, those are the strangers, the other nations, the heathens. Read.
Shall be your plowmen.
Shall be your plowmen.
And your vine dressers.
And your vine dressers. Let me ask you a question. If somebody else has to feed your flocks and plow your fields and dress your vineyards, what are those people?
Your servants.
Those are slaves. Those are servants.
That's who they are. That's who they be. Keep going.
But ye shall be named the priest of the Lord.
That goes right back to Revelation 20 and 6.
when he said they shall be priests of God and of Christ and reign with him, what? For 1,000 years. It's saying the same exact thing, yo. Keep going.
Men shall call you the ministers of our God.
Men shall call us the servants of God, read.
You shall eat the riches of the Gentiles.
We shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, read.
And in their glory shall ye boast yourselves.
That goes back to Isaiah 60 and Revelation chapter 21. The gates shall be open. We're going to get all their wealth, all their riches, all their forces. It's saying the same exact thing, yo. When does this take place? This takes place during that 1,000-year reign with Christ, which is likened to a day. What day? The 7th day, yo. The 7th day. Give me the book of 2nd Ezra 10 and 24. We're still talking about this rest. 2nd Ezra 10 and 24. Matter of fact, start at 23.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 10 and verse 23. And, which is the greatest of all, the seal of Zion have now lost her honor.
He said the seal of Zion has now lost her honor. Read.
For she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us.
She is delivered in the hands of them that hate us. Today, we are in the hands of those that hate us. Those that hate us rule over us, yo.
Yeah, our enemies.
Our enemies. Keep going.
And therefore, shake off that great heaviness.
But now it's time to shake off your heaviness. Read.
And put away the multitude of sorrows.
And put away all your sorrows. Read.
That the mighty may be merciful unto thee again.
That the Almighty may be merciful to you or to us again. Read.
And the highest shall give thee rest.
And the highest shall what?
Shall give thee rest.
And the highest shall give thee rest.
And ease.
And ease.
From thy labor.
From thy labor, yo. The Lord is going to give us rest and ease from our labor. And who is this talking about? When it says the highest, niggas ain't gonna like this. Christ. That's who it's talking about. Matter of fact, Matthew 11 and 28. Matthew 11 and 28. I want to read down to 30.
The book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28.
Uh-huh.
Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest.
And I will give you rest. This is Christ. Christ said, come to me, all you that labor and are heavy laden. He's talking to the Israelites. We are the ones who labor. We are the ones who are heavy laden, oppressed. Keep going.
Take my yoke upon you.
Christ said, take his yoke, read.
And learn of me.
And learn about him, read.
For I am meek and lowly in heart.
He's meek and lowly in heart, read.
And ye shall find rest unto your soul.
And ye shall find rest. Ye shall find rest even unto your soul. Yo, read.
For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
The Lord said his yoke is easy. His burden is light. Contrary-wise, those that hate us, our enemies, their yoke is not easy, it's hard. Their bondage is not light, it's heavy yoke. It's heavy. Give me Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 3.
The book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 3.
Let me see here.
And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
Hey, read that again.
Verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear,
Read.
and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
This is that rest right here. Rest from sorrow, rest from fear, rest from hard bondage and labor that we've been made to serve men. This is that rest. And that rest is going back to that 1,000 years. And that 1,000 years is like into one day. What day? The 7th day. The 7th day. And we know the 7th day is a Sabbath day. And what aren't we supposed to be doing on the Sabbath day?
Rested.
No, what aren't we supposed to do? You're right. We're supposed to rest. What are we not permitted to do?
Oh, work.
Work. We're not permitted to labor. This is why he's telling you this day of rest is going to be a day of no labor. A day of ease for the children of Israel. But jump on to verse 1.
Verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel,
Read.
and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them.
The strangers are talking about the aliens, the heathens, the other nations. They shall be joined with us. Read.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
And they shall cleave to Jacob. Read.
And the people shall take them, and bring them to their place.
And the people of Israel shall take them, talking about the strangers, the heathens, and bring them to their place. That's twofold as well. That's literal and it's figurative. We're going to literally put them in their place, and then we will figuratively put them in their place, if you understand what I'm saying. Keep going.
And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord.
For what?
For servants and handmaids.
For servants and handmaids. If you possess people for servants and handmaids, what are those people?
Slaves.
Slaves, yo. They're servants, man. That's what they are. That's what they be. Read.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors.
That is the rest that Moses was talking about right there, yo. That is the rest.
Rulership over your oppressor. Taking captive your captors. That is the rest. He said, possessing these strangers for servants and handmaids, which goes back to Isaiah 61. I forgot to mention that. It goes back to Isaiah 61 when it said the strangers and the aliens will be our, they will feed our flocks. They will be our plowmen. They will be our vine dressers. It's saying the same exact thing. It's saying the same exact thing, yo. Same thing. Now, from there, matter of fact, I want to know should I even go into this right now? No, I'm not going to go into it right now. We're going to end this thing right here because we're going to swing around tomorrow for the new moon, Lord's will, and we're going to finish the rest of this. And we're actually going to go into the parable tomorrow. We should have got into it, but you know how the game go. Anybody got anything they want to add?
Yeah, I want to bring one out.
Do your thing, bro.
Hey, go to Micah 4. You know what I want. 4 and 2. No, 4 and 10. So like.
Book of Micah chapter 4 and verse 10.
They were in pain. That's what it says?
Yes.
Bring that out. Call it and read it again.
The book of Micah chapter 4 verse 10. Be in pain.
What it says?
Be in pain.
And
labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion. Like a woman in travail.
Like you see a woman in travail. A woman is in travail. She's in pain. Keep reading.
For now shalt thou go forth out of the city. And thou shalt dwell in the field. And thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies.
And let you know where we at. Zion. Zion's in the hands of their enemies where we're going to be delivered at. All we have to do, though, labor and pain and bring forth what? Zion. And with that,
hey, well, we're going to go ahead and end this thing in the same way we began this thing. That's by giving all praises, all glory, all honor to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Right.
Through his only begotten Son, Jesus the Christ.
Facts, though.
Secondly, we're going to give double honors to our elders again.
That's right.
Because again, our elders rule well. They're counted worthy of double honors, so they get their double honors.
Double honors.
Thirdly, I want to say to all of my brothers, all of my sisters out there, Shabbat Shalom, Happy Sabbath, and farewell. My name is Priest Lithiel Ben Israel.
Hey, likewise, happy Sabbath, Israel. My name is Priest Ron Ben Israel, and hopefully you find the class edifying. It was in your spirits to follow along, read along, take notes, write it down in the book. And if it was, you know what I mean? If you'd like to find more information about us, check us out on our social media platform. First and foremost, our school, Holy Nation Israel, the social media platform we are on, Facebook as well as Instagram. And also, too, you can find me, and on our YouTube channel, Straight Gate of Israel. And then me, Ron Ben Israel, you can find me on Facebook as well as Instagram. But on Instagram, Ron Ben Israel, but lowercase and underscore between the two names.
Hey, I'm on IG at Lithiel617, Facebook, Lithiel Ben Israel.
And like when it comes to all our social media platforms, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell. Forget anything?
Nah.
All right.
Except for the heathens hate that.
Oh yeah, and they hate that.
Damn right, they hate that. And the heathens we're talking about is the ones in Psalm 83.
Let's run down.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom. Most High Christ.